So there was a girl on here who posted a picture of her after having her first kid and her sister after having four kids, and she was asking how does her sister look so good after she had four and she looked like that and she only had one. And I want to tell women one thing. Take care of yourself before you turn into a weirdo. Take care of yourself before you start turning into one of those women that can't stop comparing herself to everybody else around her. Because those type of people that feel like they're just so ugly and just so ill, when you go around them as the type of person that puts yourself together and makes sure you feel and look good every day, it will offend them. It will trigger something in them. And that's exactly what triggered her. That's why it's dangerous to have people around you with low self-esteem. We all have insecurities, but I'm talking about those people at the level of low self-esteem to where they look at you and they look at themselves and they wonder why they don't look like you. That's dangerous. Making sure you look your best is a part of mental health. Making sure you look your best is something that helps you from comparing yourself to other people. It sounds innocent, it sounds cute, but it's really not. Those type of insecurities need to be nipped in the butt. Once you start looking at other women in a jealous type of way, because it was jealous, you need to nip that in the butt before it turns to envy. You need to start centering yourself back to you and become the bad bitch that you want to be.
All right, let's get into it, because when she said take care of yourself as a woman before you become a weirdo, it resonated a lot because my whole life I've encountered the same weird women she's talking about. And I've seen this play out too many times, and every single time it has the same root. Women not taking care of themselves physically, emotionally, mentally, financially, and then turning that neglect outward through jealousy, comparison, and weird energy toward women who did put in the work. And it's uncomfortable, like genuinely uncomfortable to be around. Because when you're just existing, minding your business, being yourself, looking nice, taking care of your body, your appearance, your health, some women will make you their mirror and they don't like what they see. So instead of focusing on themselves, they project it onto you. And suddenly you're the problem because your presence activates the insecurity they refuse to deal with. And let's be real, jealousy between women isn't just messy, it can get dangerous. Women who don't like themselves can spin a whole narrative about you that has nothing to do with reality. And I've learned I don't want friendships where I have to shrink so somebody else can feel tall. That's not friendship, and I'm not doing that. I don't want friendships based on aesthetics. I don't want friendships built on competing for the male gaze. I'm at a point in my life where I want women around me who are secure in themselves. Women who know who they are and don't look at me as the enemy. Because for what? Why are we competing? Competing for what? For men? Girl, if you want him, go take him, please. I promise you, I will not fight you. That whole Bravo, Oxygen, Zeus network friendship aesthetic is fake. That's not sisterhood. That's not camaraderie. It's performative chaos, and they're fighting for storylines. Regular women don't need to live like that. But let me tell y'all about this girls trip, because that trip showed me everything I needed to know about insecurity and weird energy in real time. So last year I went on this girls trip to Bali. Two of the women on the trip were influencers, and one of them, who had the second biggest following, baby, she was the most insecure one there. I mean, it was textbook. We're on vacation. We're supposed to be relaxing, having fun, enjoying life. And she kept bringing up her manicure and pedicure, comparing hers to everyone else's. She literally said, "Oh, I just put some Gel X on. I've had this for 2 weeks." But it wasn't in a casual way. It was that self-deprecating, fishing for validation thing. Meanwhile, I had a fresh mani and pedi because I prepared for the trip. But I wasn't about to turn this into a beauty competition. It wasn't that deep to me. And then there were the microaggressive comments, the little weird remarks, the backhanded compliments, the energy shift. Online before the trip, she was cool. She was friendly, commenting under pictures, hyping everyone up, but face to face, completely different person. It was like being around somebody who smiled at you, but had something slick ready behind her teeth. The vibe was off. And for a minute, I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. I tried not to take things personally, but everything wasn't adding up. Then, after the trip, I found out she had been asking the other girls for money during the trip, on an international trip. Who in the hell goes out of the country broke? And she had a man. A whole man she claimed was a Navy surgeon. If he's a surgeon, why is she begging for cash? The math it wasn't mathing. That's when it clicked though. She's not insecure because of me. She's insecure because her whole life is smoke and mirrors. The following, the aesthetic, the relationship, the image, it was all a performance. And she didn't have the basics together. The insecurity was leaking through every crack. Oh gosh. First, she tried to copy me before we all met before the trip, posting something on her stories right after I posted mine on my profile grid, completely identical. I side-eyed it for a moment because I thought maybe she just happened to know where this meme comes from. And normally I wouldn't think twice, but after everything I saw and experienced on that trip, I knew exactly what was going on. She was siphoning my personality to overlay on her fake online persona. And I'm sorry, but no, absolutely not. And let me tell y'all exactly when I realized something was off with this girl. It was literally the first day. So earlier that day, she had already been comparing her manicure and pedicure to the other women, constantly bringing it up, constantly downplaying herself. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe she's just nervous. Maybe she's one of those women who needs reassurance. I tried to be understanding. Then we walked down to one of the pools on the resort, and out of nowhere, there's this tall European man staring her down. And it wasn't just a look, it was that strange, almost hostile kind of stare, like something was wrong with him. And later, when we all picked up our stuff to move to a different pool, she and I were walking side by side, and she leaned over and said, "Did you see that man looking at me like he wanted to beat my ass?" And I'm like, "Oh, I saw him looking, but I didn't realize it was like that." I was like, "Don't worry, I got you. If anything pops off, I'm right here. I'll throw elbows and knuckles, all of that." And so I said it playfully, in the spirit of girls trip solidarity. Like, sis, if somebody bothers you, we're here together. It was lighthearted, and my tone, my body language, and my whole vibe was joking, protective, not aggressive. So fast forward to that night, we're all drinking, listening to music, just vibing in one of the girls' suites. At one point, she and I stepped onto the patio, and she hits me with, "Do you think you should be drinking?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, what if you get angry?" At this point, I'm confused, like completely blindsided. I'm like, "Angry how?" So she said, like, angry. I asked her, like, what would make you even think that? And because at this point, I'm trying to understand what delusional path she took to end up at that conclusion. She said, "Well, by the pool, when I talked about that guy, you said you put hands on him." And I'm thinking, girl, what? Like, you took a playful, I got your back moment and twisted it into Nisi is violent when she drinks. And the way she said it, matter of fact, no hesitation, but couldn't make eye contact, yeah, she knew she was wrong. It was giving Karen energy. It was giving, let me paint you as aggressive so I can feel above you. It was giving, let me create a narrative so I have a reason to feel threatened. And the crazy part, if you genuinely think someone is violent, you don't confront them in a secluded spot with a drink in your hand. You definitely don't accuse them of being dangerous. That's not what people do when they're genuinely scared. That's what people do when they're trying to provoke you or set up a storyline where they look like the victim and you look like the threat. And the second she said, "I think you are violent," I immediately clocked what time it was, because I've seen manipulative behavior. I've seen women who poke and poke and poke, hoping you'll snap so they can say, see, look, she's crazy. Or worse, so they can use it as a reason to put their hands on you like they've been plotting to do all along. And I wasn't going to give her that moment. I stayed calm. I told her that's not who I am, and I let the situation roll off. But in the back of my mind, I filed it away because that right there was my first dose of her weird energy. The comparison, the insecurity, the microaggressions, the strange attempts to frame me negatively, it all started on day one. And from that moment on, the whole vibe made sense. Like after the trip, I evaluated the entire situation and I blocked her. I did not owe her an explanation. Then she tried to call me out in the group chat like, Nisi blocked me. I don't know what I did. First of all, ma'am, if you were that concerned, you could have messaged me directly. But no, she wanted a moment. She wanted attention and sympathy. I ignored her because what are we talking about? You're blocked. It's done. And that is what happens when women don't take care of themselves. They become weird, jealous, competitive, microaggressive, sneaky. They become the type of woman other women don't feel safe around. And that's why I say take care of yourself before you become that woman. When you pour into your mind, confidence, health, finances, hygiene, emotional regulation, your spirituality, your appearance, when you actually do the work, you don't have time to compare yourself to the next woman. You're too busy living your own life. If you value authentic friendships, good energy, and peace, you cannot keep women in your life who resent you for simply showing up as yourself. Because unresolved jealousy is not harmless. It is not harmless. It can turn into sabotage, competition, copying, weird vibes, and sometimes it turns into straight up hostility. And I'm not dealing with that in my 30s. I'm just not. If a woman hasn't done the work on herself, she's not going to be able to show up as a friend to me. And I'm okay with walking away from that. If you like this story time or can relate, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.